Hey, welcome guys. Today we're going to be talking about Enneagram Type 6, and we're going to be looking at this book, The Unfiltered Enneagram by Elizabeth Orr. She is a Type 8, so she doesn't hold back any punches, and this is a great chapter, a great book, and I'm excited to be able to cover this information in this video. So we're gonna have fun today, and I hope that you will benefit or gain something to help you know more about yourself or that six in your life that you love. Before we get started, just a reminder, in the description below is a link to my website, tomlahue.com, where I do offer Enneagram coaching support for you to come alongside of you, encourage you, whatever I can do to help you figure out what the next step in your life is, or your relationship. I do a lot of relationship coaching as well. The Enneagram is such a great tool to help us learn to get along with each other and be able to communicate better. Also, I often have courses available on demand and live, so check out that website. Lots of good stuff there for you. All right, let's jump into this information today. And I've been messing with my lighting settings on my camera, and hopefully it will work better than in the past where it gets dark and light and dark and light. So we'll see what happens. But let's just jump into this chapter and just hit some highlights. Now, there's no way I can cover everything, in this chapter, but I can hit some highlights, some stuff that was maybe new to me or made me think about it in a different way. So who needs trust when I've got projection? And projection, of course, is the defense mechanism of type sixes, where they kind of project their fears out into the world. The illustration that she uses for this is that old horror movie trope. What's a trope? Well, it's something you see over and over again in a story or in a movie. It's, the man with the hat and the trench coat. That's a trope. Okay, so she says, go back to those old horror movies where this woman keeps getting a phone call, then and there's just breathing, and then the phone hangs up, and then she's panicked and she calls the police and whatever. Anyway, come to find out, the phone calls have been coming from somewhere within the house itself. Dun dun dun. And that's her point, is that sometimes, sixes, they see this world as a big scary place with all kinds of people that are out to get you. And what they don't realize is that these fears live inside you. It's not so much the outside world. Yes, the world is a scary place. We'll agree with you. But, why isn't the 9 scared? Why isn't the 1 scared? Why aren't they reaching out to others for support? Maybe they should a little bit. But realize that a lot of this stuff lives inside of you. There is a problem with trusting your own ability at times to be able to have the resources, or to be able to make the decisions necessary to be able to protect yourself and the loved ones that that are in your care. And because there is that general fear that you're not going to be able to handle the situation, you project out into the world that all of those fears are caused by stuff that's going on out there. And what you don't realize is maybe there's something going on inside of you that makes you susceptible to this kind of fear. Okay, so let's just hit some highlights here. People either love me or truly, truly hate me. And it's normal for sixes to think that other people, don't really like me. Other people, they're just trying to get in and schmooze their way in to get something out of me. And loyalty and trustworthy, and an offbeat sense of humor. I would say quirky. A lot of sixes that I meet are kind of quirky. By the way, sixes are called the normal person, the good citizen. And their humor, especially, can be kind of quirky or, anyway, I'll just leave it at that. So their relentless questions, their utter unwillingness to trust in most everything around them, and their laser-like focus on worst-case scenarios can run out the patience of the people that are trying to love them or trying to be in relationship with them. People can lose their patience because you always have one more question. One of the names for the six is the questioner. What did you mean by that? Why did you say it that way? That anxious attachment style, right? That can become exhausting when people constantly have to reassure you that they didn't mean any harm. They didn't mean, and then sometimes, these constant questioning, this constant asking can actually bring about other people's rejection of you. Interesting. Okay, generally suspicious of anything they're told and particularly suspicious of any compliments. What do you think about that? Is that true of you? If people compliment you, you're suspicious of that? Like, why did they say that? What do they mean by that? What are they trying to pull off? What's their angle? Why are they flattering me? No one would just want to love me because of me. Nobody would just want to be my friend because they actually think I'm helpful. They must want something. They must need something. They must be trying to pull one over on me. Are you suspicious of compliments? That's interesting, isn't it? Sixes embark on the project of trying to anticipate other people's ulterior motives and hidden agendas, because they have to have one, right? Imagining every outcome that points to their demise and stubbornly pessimistic. Sixes are notoriously excellent in a crisis. We've talked about that before. The sixes in the middle of a crisis tend to be able to show up and be able to take care of things. But then once the crisis is over, they go back to distrusting their ability to be able to handle a crisis. It's strange, isn't it? It's kind of ironic. There's a lot of ironies in the Enneagram, and that may be one of them. Sixes don't trust anything or anyone at first blush. Probably the worst thing you could say to a six is, do you trust me? Do you? Well, I did, kind of, until you asked me if I trusted you. Now, no. Nobody asked that. Why would you ask that? Now I don't trust you. Great job. Louder than fives, less optimistic than sevens, sixes seek reassurance outside themselves. Now, one of the points that she makes in this book is that all of the head types, in a sense, kind of give up something about themselves and farm that out to the exterior world. Like the fives might look toward experts, and sevens, my happiness exists in stuff that's outside of me. And sixes, I need other people's guidance, assurance, and support because I don't seem to have that within myself. And so we all kind of give away something to the exterior world. Seeking reassurance outside themselves, assessment planning, stubborn allegiance, giving that and then wanting that from others and their support. I like this term she uses. They employ a rabid, raccoon-like ferocity. I like that, raccoons. Maybe you're not the deer. Maybe the animal for the six shouldn't be the deer, but the raccoon. I like that. They protect the few things and the people that have actually earned their trust. So once you do trust an institution, or once you do trust a doctor or a mechanic or a dentist or a chiropractor or a pastor or whatever it is, then there's this like rabid raccoon ferocity and protecting and defending, this person that you do trust. They walk under an obnoxious, self-assigned thundercloud, raining on the parade of everyone else's arguments and proposed plans, poking holes in every idea and suggestion. What do you mean by that? What do you think? Do you think that makes sense? Do you think we should go at 6 or 7? What do you think, Bud? What do you think, Bill? What do you think, Walt? What do you think? Okay, what is fundamental to understand about sixes is that they perceive the world as an inherently dangerous place. It is. I mean, there's a lot of good out there, right? And not everybody means it for evil. But there's some percentage of people out there that we shouldn't trust, that we should keep our eyes on, that we should, but the overwhelming idea is that the world is an inherently dangerous place and threats to safety and security lurk around every corner. And not only is it just possible that we could be under threat, but it's imminent. And so, this is the world of Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson. This is the world of what is the government up to now? What are they trying to do? The deep state. They're poisoning our water. They're poisoning our children's minds. And some of that is true. It's just notice other people aren't necessarily putting a spotlight on it. Why are they putting a spotlight on it? Because wake up, people. I don't want to have to face this by myself. I want loyalty, support. I want agreement. I want us to come together to protect one another because I don't want to face this all by myself. It's a scary world out there. And there's all kinds of institutions that are trying to take your freedoms away. And notice everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people might agree to that and say, yeah, that's true. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't spend your life worried about what they're doing in Washington, D.C. Just got to vote, and then hope for the best and move on with your life. Because what? There's roofs that need to be repaired and tires that need to be fixed and meals that need to be prepped. And I got to go to work. I can't spend all my days on TikTok or X or Rumble or, any of these platforms just talking about the demise of the world that's imminent. They're going to create famines. And so it's easy to get sucked into this kind of world and immediately feel overwhelmed and feel like you need support, Okay. So they're worried and they need you to know about it so that you can do something. Wake up. And so that they won't have to face it themselves. She says the essential self of the six has an unshakable faith in themselves and in the rest of the world that things are going to be all right. And there's that line to 9, right? Sixes at their best look a little bit like a 9, like unshakable faith in themselves and the faith that everything's going to work out. It's going to be okay. I don't need to hit the panic buttons. I will be able to. It's not so much that bad things might not happen, but I know that if bad things happen, I'll be able to face it. I'll be able to handle it. And so it's helpful for a 6 to look back into their past and say, have you ever handled anything before? Have you ever been through anything difficult before? How did it work out? Did you survive? Did you manage it? Yeah, you did. Okay, well, maybe the next time something presents itself to you, you'll be able to handle it. And it's nice to have support from others, but it's not really necessary. The sort of the virtue for the 6 is courage. And courage isn't about you seeking support and guidance and assurance from everybody else. It's about you going inward and recognizing, okay, I do feel overwhelmed. I do feel like, a lot of things could happen, but I've been able to face things before. I'll be able to face it again. I need to go ahead and move forward. I need to take the next right step. Wasn't that Anna in Frozen 2? Just take the next step. Take the next right step. And I got to keep moving forward. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, lions and tigers. But I still got to walk that yellow brick road. I can't let it defeat me. And yes, I can gain some support from the people that are with me in this journey, but ultimately I need to start to come to the realization that I can handle tough situations. After all, you guys are the Marines on the Enneagram. You're the biker gang on the Enneagram. You are the EMTs, the police officers, 1s and 6s, are the police officers, the community watch. All right, so the world's a dangerous place. The focus of attention goes to everything that could be wrong or is going wrong, which could be exhausting for the people in your life that don't want to always hear about what's going wrong. When people compliment you or show kind gestures to you, you might start to be suspicious of that. What is their hidden agenda? What is their ulterior motive? The core fear, I say the core fear is of being without support, guidance, and assurance. It's not that the core fear of the 6 is that bad things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen, right? But it's more like when those bad things happen, I'm going to be by myself and have to face those myself, and I won't have any support, guidance, or assurance. But she says the core fear is that they will not be able... Okay, let me just read it. The core fear that runs a type 6's blood ice cold is that in this dangerous world, they're utterly helpless to protect themselves and the ones that they love, and that all their preparation and vigilance will never be enough to keep them and their loved ones safe. Well, that's a terrible thought, isn't it? That is a terrible thought. 6s then will appear like they're not trusting, but it won't look like they're mistrusting themselves. It'll look like they're mistrusting you, that you are causing this mistrust, this big, bad, scary world. I'm not sure if I have the ability to survive and protect the loved ones that I have in this big, bad, scary world. And so I need to show loyalty to people and institutions that I think will show loyalty to me and will be there to protect me. And so this loyalty is a transactional thing, much like sometimes 2s, their attention, their love, and their affection can be transactional. But guidance relies on like an inner wisdom, like I'll be able to decide and I'll be able to make a decision under stress or under pressure, and I'll be able to have the resources necessary. So the six spins away on a hamster wheel of anxiety, frantically running themselves around and around as they imagine and prepare for the worst. And what does all this preparation get you? I mean, the focus of your attention could be constantly on threats, risk assessment, potential dangers. And this can make you very successful in certain arenas of life because, certain jobs require that kind of focus of attention. But, what you focus your attention on often in life is what grows. And if if all of the focus of your attention is on the problems in life, you're going to feel like life is a problem. That's not rocket science. What would happen if you shifted your focus to the good things, to the positive things, to things that are going well? Well, you would immediately start to feel more peace, comfort, and happiness, but you're going to think, well, then I'm not covering my bases. By focusing my attention on all the good stuff, who's watching the back door? Somebody's got to watch the back door. So even in that, there may be some mistrust of yourself. The defense mechanism of the six is projection, casting their own inner mistrust onto their external environment. You're making me feel this way. The threat that their safety is external and that their threat is external and that their source of safety is also going to be external and it's not internal. Okay, what I'm saying is you may find yourself projecting that the reason I feel this way is something outside. What is it? What is it? What is it? It's my neighbor over there. My neighbor keeps creeping around at night, smoking cigarettes. They're the ones making me feel this way. So the reason I feel this way is something outside is causing it. Now, are any of the other neighbors anxious? No, they all just think, oh, the neighbor goes out and smokes at night. But why is he doing it at 1:00 in the morning? What's going on? What's happening? I haven't seen his wife in a long time. And so you're projecting your fears onto that your neighbor is causing this. And then secondly, what might happen is the solution to these fears, what's going to make me feel safe or secure, is also projected outside yourself. In other words, I can't just work through this and come to a point where I feel like, oh, maybe it's just fine. No, I need to then go to my wife or my husband and say, what do you think is going on? Why do you think they're out there doing that? See, I need this reassurance from outside of myself to feel safe about this. And if I don't get it, well, then you're not a good friend, and I'm going to call the police, and the police are going to come, and they're going to have to give me the assurance that everything's okay. Notice it's all external. What's causing the fear is external, and what's going to relieve the fear is going to be external. Somebody's assurance or support or guidance. And that's the whole point is what's the breakdown that you're having a hard time doing this internally? Like notice what would happen if you start to get anxious about your neighbor and you said to yourself, well, of course I am. I'm a 6. There I go again. There I go again, seeing something that may or may not be there. Maybe everything's fine. Maybe there's nothing nefarious going on here. Maybe my neighbor is just smoking a cigarette. Maybe they're not plotting, to take over the neighborhood and, blow up our houses. Maybe I should just let this go. If you can say that to yourself, I'm a 6 feeling the stuff 6s feel. You see how it kind of minimizes my intensity and that something needs to be done here. Other people need to know about this. I don't want to be alone in this. Okay. All right. The call is coming from inside the house. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Focus on the future, risk assessment, need for security, an endless litany of questions and doubts. 6s can be afraid to take the next step forward. Rejection of the notion that people around me like me just for me, and they like me for my company, not for my loyalty or my support. But they're probably smooth criminals, these people that work with me, these people that go to church with me. They're just waiting till I feel safe, and then they're going to blindside me in some way. Predictability is very important to 6s, and they may stay in a relationship even though it's terrible, even though it could be hell on earth, but at least it's predictable. At least I know what's coming next. At least I can, or this job may be terrible and I may hate it and I may feel unfulfilled in it, but at least it's predictable. At least it pays the bills. At least I know how to handle and interact with these people. And so the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. One in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? Comfort and familiarity. It gives you a level of security. That's why we like routines. That's why we like tradition. Sixes are the protectors of tradition. Tradition. My guess is that Tevye on Fiddler on the Roof is probably a 6-wing 7. His wife's probably a 1, at least in the movie. I don't know, she kind of looks like an 8 too, but I'd say probably a 1. Anyway, I don't know. Routine, predictability, and you want that in relationships as well. Even if you're married to a narcissist, at least it's predictable. Yikes. Okay. Risk appraisal, looking for cracks. Courage. Courage means you no longer get stuck in the dress rehearsal for disaster. Instead, you step up into action with trust in yourself to be able to handle this. You got what it takes. No, I don't. I need help. You got what it takes. Believe in yourself. Sounds easy, right? But in the moment, I like that she calls them scrappy little 6s. That fits. Scrappy little 6s. Raccoon-like. Raccoon. Shepherding other people. Fighting. Braveheart. Braveheart's a 6. I like this whole little paragraph, so I'm just going to read it, okay? What do you think you're trying to protect by being skeptical of other people's goodwill toward you? If other people around you are being good to you and treating you right and being kind to you, and you're suspicious and skeptical of them, what do you think that does to the relationship? What would be at risk if you let down your guard and trusted that people actually like you? And if people do actually like you, how do you think it affects them when you automatically disbelieve their fondness for you? What if people are loyal to you, not just because you're ready for any disaster, but because you're funny and warm and spunky and you really give good advice? What if I'm complimenting you right now, not because I want something from you, but because I want something for you to trust in yourself as much as you try to earn the trust of others? That is a powerful, powerful paragraph. I really like that. There's a fine line between wanting proof of people's trustworthiness and punishing them for what you can't seem to find within yourself. Wow. Wow. Let me read that again. There's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to depend on the faithfulness of other people. But there's a fine line between wanting proof of other people's trustworthiness, which they probably already believe they've given to you, being in a relationship with you for more than 6 weeks or 6 months. There's a fine line between wanting proof of other people's trustworthiness and punishing them for what you can't seem to find within yourself, that confidence or that assurance or that belief in your ability to handle things. How is your constant suspicion of others turning fear of abandonment into a reality? Maybe people will turn away from you, and the very thing you were afraid was going to happen, you actually partially are responsible for bringing it about because your constant questioning of people turns them against you. You're trying to keep people from turning against you, but you may actually cause your own demise. So she comes up with a few ways to break your patterns. Realize this is happening, I think, is the most important thing. Have some awareness, catch yourself in the moment. But she says, commit to saying yes to someone else's suggestion this week without asking any follow-up questions. Wait, what do you mean by that? What time should I be there? Should I bring anything? Do I need to call ahead? Just say yes to somebody without asking all the follow-up questions. And trust that you're going to be able to figure it out. Ooh, wow. Building confidence in yourself. Learn how to trust compliments without the gracious suspicion. Just next time somebody compliments you, say, thank you so much. It really means a lot to hear you say that. I appreciate it. Not, oh, no, no, oh, no, no, not no, no, no. Don't do that. Just accept it. The next time you have a decision to make and you see yourself reaching out to others for assurance and guidance, don't do that. Just decide that you're going to pause, think about it, make a decision, and then go with it. And whatever happens, happens. But what if it's the end of the world? It won't be. It won't be. You can then alter your course of action. If you're moving forward and something isn't going right, you pivot. You pivot. You have the right to change your mind and pivot and say, well, that didn't work out. I chose door A. Door A wasn't the right door. So I guess now I need to pivot. Yeah, but they'll be upset. They'll turn against me. People make people change their plans. It's okay. And most of the things that we're worried about never even come to pass. And most of the things we're worried about are not life and death decisions. It's little stuff. Now, certainly on those life and death decisions, we should seek counsel. We should reach out to others for counsel and guidance. But most things are not life and death decisions, so most things do not need that kind of input from others. So we want to start to begin to work that muscle of making decisions and moving forward, laughing at ourselves when we feel, overwhelmed, catching ourselves. Oh, there I go again. And then work those muscles of making decisions and taking action, taking the next step, and trusting ourselves that we've got what it takes. We've been through hard things before. You've been through hard things before. And if it doesn't work out well, we'll then pivot and take a different course of action. But we'll be able to handle it. We'll be able to handle it. Look at that. 6 looks like look at these lines, and we'll finish with this. 6, the line to 9, right? In health, you calm down, you relax, you decide maybe everything's going to be okay. Maybe I can handle it. I don't need to do anything here. I just need to accept it. There's your line to 9. That line to 3. Imagine that you're in school and daddy's very upset because you don't have straight A's. Oh, look at you become a 3, right? Look at you under stress. I've got to keep a perfect grade point average. I can't ever get in trouble. I don't want people to be mad at me. I don't want daddy to yell at me. So I've got to be a 3. I've got to be valedictorian in my class. Because I don't want the, earthquake that's going to happen. It'll swallow me if I mess up or I don't prove to everyone something about myself. All right. Well, man, great stuff. Get the book if you don't have it yet. It's called The Unfiltered Enneagram by Elizabeth Orr, and every chapter has been great. It's probably right now, maybe my second favorite book on the Enneagram. My first favorite is The Enneagram Guide to Waking Up by Beatrice Chestnut. I have her interview on my YouTube channel. You can go find it on the playlist for interviews. But maybe one day we'll interview her. All right, guys, take care. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. If I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. My website is tomlahue.com. I'll see you next time.